In this video, we will install the F5 Big IP appliance as a virtual machine on our VMware ESXi server that we'll be using in our environment. So we have the virtual machine image on our computer that we got from f5.com. And right now we have our vSphere client program open on our computer. And under the resource group on the left that's called server farm, let's extend that out. These are the web servers that we will use in this video series for server load balancing. So these are the servers that are also reflected in our design diagram. Now let's import the Big IP virtual machine by going up here to File, then to Deploy OVF. For the source page, you need to select the source of the Big IP OVA image on your computer, and for us that is already selected. So we'll go ahead and say next to install this file. And this is a summary page showing the details and the operating system of the Big IP appliance that we will be installing. So let's say next to continue. Let's accept the user agreement and say next. Here, let's enter a name for this virtual machine based on our design diagram for that appliance. And for the disk format, we will select then provision and say next. Next, we need to determine the network interfaces that will be associated to our Big IP appliance. So the Big IP will have four main interfaces for many of the appliances. There is a management interface, there is an external or WAN facing interface, there is an internal or LAN facing interface, and there is a HA port for Big IP failover. Now, since we're using the virtual edition, we need to specify the actual interface or VLAN that will be used. So we will select the VLAN that will be used since we have VLAN and 802.1q trunking set up in our environment. Now we have a VMware ESXi video series in our collection that can show you how to set up VLAN interfaces on the ESXi server if you are interested in that. So starting with the management interface, and of course everything here is listed for us, which is really nice. So starting with the management interface, we will select the correct VLAN that is part of our management network. That'll be VLAN 101, I think. Okay. And we will do the same for the internal interface, which would be VLAN 201, which our server farm exists in. And the external interface, which is VLAN 254. Okay, and let's select the VLAN profile for the HA port. Okay, and we are all done. Now, before we continue, it's important to see the actual order of how our interfaces are listed, because this will become important when we set up our LAN and WAN facing interfaces on the Big IP appliance under the web utility. So let's say next and move on with our setup here. And finally, we are finished. So this page provides a quick summary of everything we have selected and will set up. Let's go ahead and check power on after deployment, then finish. Okay, so now the virtual machine is being imported and installed into our environment. And once that completes, it will power on the virtual machine and we'll be ready to start configuring our Big IP appliance. Now this process can take anywhere up to 30 minutes, so let's wait until it completes.